Friday, right? They say, thank God it's Friday. We say it every time, and yes, we'll keep saying it. Thank God it's Friday, regardless of what it is that might bedevil us as a people as well as a nation. Oh, yes, that bell, of course, is also talking about the dawn of a new day. And that would also allow for us to engage in a conversation. That, indeed, is one that cannot be ignored. Have I told you my name? My name is Uduak Daniel. I'll be holding it down from now up until the 9:55 mark. So we're just going to be engaging as smartly as we can, right? August 2, protest, politics, and the future of Nigeria. Yesterday, of course, we saw how, the first day of the end bad governance, protest went. For some, it was a mixed feeling. For me, particularly, it was a mixed feeling. And I know that for you, it may also be a mixed feeling. But regardless of what it may be, some persons, some quarters are saying that we have made a giant stride. Others are saying that we have really lost a lot, and lives and property would not be considered a success in whatever sense of the word. And we've seen family members calling, give us a message in their own rights and in their own capacity. We've also seen, other family members also give their own thoughts about it. But we will try to see how we can do an appraisal, if you like, maybe an aesthetic, look into the entire procession, where some are saying that the organizers of the protest are beginning to lose their grip or have lost their grip totally on the hold of the those who are participating in the, said protest, while others are saying that, look, you cannot have a protest without having, some exigencies along the line in terms of violence and all of that. But when we go to the definition of what a protest is, it's about people expressing themselves in a most civil and responsible way, just asking to be heard, just asking that certain things be done, and that the things that are inimical, that is against the, growth and development, against the life in itself, be thrown away, thrashed, so that the people, just in borrowing from the words of the Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says, let the poor breathe, so that the people, the citizenry, can indeed have a fresh breath of a fresh air. Well, Nigeria as a country, of course, we've constantly been plagued by economic woes, and we have witnessed, quite a surge in protest across the, the 36 states, with the hashtag and bad governance movement getting momentum. And the protests, which began, of course, yesterday, have also resulted in casualty, violence, and looting, and security forces intervening. They are trying as much as they can to manage the situation. The government's response has been criticized for excessive force, sparking concerns from human rights groups. And protests have also had a significant impact on economic activity, with businesses and even markets, closed and transportation disrupted. Many are beginning to get into panic calls to their respective wives and saying that, look, we are holding a family meeting today. We have to ensure that whatever Gary or Garium sulfates that we can get out there, we should get it, because it's not looking very feasible. And maybe this may allay the fears that governors have had, as well as the president, if you recall, calling out to Nigerians and saying, look, hey, my children, I need y'all to listen to me at this point in time. This will not end well. This would not indeed help us. It might be your rights, to protest, but please, just a little bit more time. Just allow for some of these policies to, come out from the place of embryo and grow into adulthood. Maybe then you will begin to understand that I had good intentions for you. We've got the Vice President, Shatima Kashim, also coming out to add his voice, with the president, his principle, saying that, look, it's time that we gave some listening ears to the president, and allow for just a little bit of time. We've seen, even the governors also calling in the same light, saying, oh, maybe a little bit more time should be given to the president. And in fact, the president's daughter, in a video that has gone viral too, has come out to saying that, look, my father has only been there just, over just a little bit over a year. That would be too small a time to want to adjudge him, and of course come up with the idea of a protest. And we've seen the PDP, is a former chair now, Secondus, right? right? Is it Uche Secondus? Yeah, come out to saying that well, Secondus, I'm sure, come out as saying that Mr. President has not been a very great leader, and that he has been quite terrible in administration, in handling matters that concern, you and I, the citizenry of Nigeria, that there are better ways that he would have handled it, right? We've also seen Nigerians who have come out with very strong points saying that if you had spent so much monies in certain things, the jets, the rehabilitation, refurbishment of the home, for the vice president, and certain monies that y'all are just calling out there, and the constant borrowing, which very recently we saw on the front pages of the Nigerian newspapers, the headlines that AFDB has okayed another 500 billion, US dollar loan to Nigeria. This is to help for the power sector and all of that. These and many more are what Nigerians are saying. We keep hearing all of these. We are so blessed that we shouldn't borrow excessively as the way we are. And quite a number of economists are even saying that we've not even paid our debts. We've not even started paying debts just yet. We are only servicing the debt. We've not been able to pay the debt in itself. And that makes us want to think to ourselves that, hey, what is the future? Is the future hopeful? The renewed hope agenda, is it renewing? Is it hoping, or is it bleak at the moment? But anyways, we still look at it from both sides. The federal government having their point and saying that, look, if we take over an administration that has been in almost in a shadow of itself, in comatose, right? And you're trying to build it. It takes more effort to build, and of course, it just takes a wink of an eye, a blink of an eye to destroy. Just give me a little more time and join hands with me, support me, and let us build together. Well, others have also come out to saying that, look, if the federal government and Nigeria does not tilt away from trying to gain good face in the face of IMF and the World Bank, we might just be seeing ourselves plunge into darkness even further. But then, I'll be having my guest who's going to be joining me via phone call this morning, right, so that we can have that discourse. It's going to be a smart conversation, like I said. It's just going to be straight to the point, so please, I'm begging you, as much as you can, stay civil, stay responsible, and yes, let's have that worthy discourse this morning, all right, so we don't spoil it. Now, the purpose of having this conversation is not to come and call out names. I have to put that out now, right? Because it's not also to destroy the very serious legality of what we do as journalists. I should put that out there, because you don't know what I've been through coming here. Now, I'm not going to come here to cry and talk about that, but please cut the journalists some slack, right? That we are doing all we can to also represent you here. We're doing all that we can. They call it essential services, and we understand what it is. So cut us some slack, okay? Well, now, away from that too, is not to come and attack personality. Just come here and then let's talk about these. Let's face the fact and let's just hit the nail on its head. Do not say what you cannot substantiate, because if you begin it, trust me, I may not want to wait till the end. We'll just yank you off so that we just have, conversations that would indeed grow us and develop us. That is very, very, very important that we do so. Okay? So I felt I should just put that out so that we have a better understanding of the discourse this morning. Like I said, I'm going to be joined by a guest, of course, in the person of Mr. Benedict Olalekan Agunloye. He's an information professional. He's a policy and public affairs analyst, and he will be adding his voice in the discourse this morning as we lay sail, right? Okay, so let's just look at certain things, right? It's very important that we look at some of these things. The hashtag and bad governance protest seemingly seems to become a response to Nigeria's economic crisis, characterized by soaring inflation and a sharply devalued naira currency, resulting in high cost of living and fuel prices. The protests have also been met with resistance from government officials and traditional leaders who have tried to discourage them. However, though, the protesters remain resolute as it stands, demanding an end to rising inflation, unemployment, as well as hunger. But the government has also called for dialogue They're appealing to protesters now, sit down and come and sit with us, and let's pursue dialogue rather than go, the way of protesting. However, their response has also been criticized for being inadequate, with some officials accused of using excessive force to kill the protest. Now, the Inspector General of Police, that's IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has urged protesters to remain peaceful, right? But his statement has also been seen as insufficient, given the severity of the situation. And if you recall that we had a conversation about that surrounded the issue of having protesters or who are for the hashtag end bad governance, and then we had the Tinubu-led administration protesters protesting against the protesters. Quite a lot of protest words, going there. And we mentioned that, look, it will be very, very insensible to have these two protesters going on at the same time. And we thought that indeed security agency, particularly the police, will indeed come out with a statement very quickly and say, hey, if the protesters, the hashtag end bad governance protesters, had given us 2 weeks, told us 2 weeks before time or so about the planned protest for August 1, which has a constitutional backing, by the way, then if you are doing a against or pro-Tinubu-led administration protest, and all of that, well, you could also do that. Maybe you should write us a letter too, or you should give us, a time before so that we can, or after, so that